putting the spotlight on local businesses in the capital city. This is 402 Business Insider with Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish on 1499.3 KLIN.
And good morning. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider, sponsored by the Berry Law Firm and Wyuka Cemetery. I'm Travis Filing with Transformation Marketing. With me, as always, Gary Tharnish from Home Design Real Estate Group. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. It's a great morning.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
Good day to be alive.
Yeah, always a good day to be
That's
alive.
right. Woke up breathing. It's first great thing that happened today. So,
And today we are joined by Todd Calfee, who's with Western National Bank. How you doing, Todd?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic.
There we go.
It couldn't be any better. I'm with you and Gary, and we're hanging out and going to have a good show here. So
Life's good.
Loving it.
Life's good.
Yeah.
So before Todd was with Western National Bank, he owned the Minnow Project, which was an ad agency here in town, and which is perfect timing. First segment, we always jump into our business lesson in the news. And of course, you can't turn on a TV without hearing somebody sounding off on the Cracker Barrel logo. And I thought, this is perfect timing because I own an ad agency. Todd owned an ad agency. We're marketing guys.
Sure.
I talked to him a couple days ago, and I said, okay, Todd, we're going to talk about this logo. I don't want to know what your opinion is. I don't want you to tell me what your opinion, my opinion. We're not going to share.
But it was tough for us not to talk about it. But we said, let's wait for the show. And we'll do it.
We'll just do it live. We'll see if we match on this thing. So if you're unaware, Cracker Barrel has changed their logo. I'll hold it up for the camera a little bit, but I'll probably put it on our social media just so you can kind of take a peek and sound off on it as well. But they're changing their logo after, I think they designed this in the 60s.
yeah, 69, I think.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And now
It's Uncle Herschel. Leaning against the barrel.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep.
And so now they've changed it. They simplified it. So what are your thoughts, Todd? Like it, hate it, scale of 1 to 10? How you want to lay it out there?
It's hard to put a number at that. Do I like it? It's okay. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's okay. There's a reason that people change logos. Mm-hmm. And to me, for something that is big as Cracker Barrel, they're taking a big risk there, right? But they're doing it for a reason. Now, we don't know the exact reason of why they're doing it. I mean, you're going to hear them talk about things on why they're doing it. But in my opinion, they are trying. They're going to lose some of their market share, right?
Sure.
That's my opinion. I think what's happening, and it's just life. It's the way it happens. People die, right? And a lot of their folks are passing on, right?
They're older.
Yeah, so you get this New York agency in there, and they think they're going to come in and they're going to make it like a place where hipsters are going to go in and drink coffee, and I think they're missing their mark a little bit. There's so much that goes into branding, and we don't know everything, the psychographics, the demographics that they're actually targeting right now. But in my professional and personal opinion, I think they've missed the mark.
Interesting.
Agreed. They already lost 7% right off the bat with their stock. But, okay, so my thing is, when you think of Cracker Barrel, right, I always think grandma's cooking, homegrown everything. It's like a cozy blanket in the middle of winter at your grandma's house while she's knitting you another one. I don't like it at all. Also, I just want to own these companies that are redoing these logos because it's kind of like Art 101. Let's just make the letters a little thicker, which I can do with my colored marker, and let's just make the shape a little, and get rid of everything that matters, right? To me, I mean, it's like KFC getting rid of the Colonel and replacing him with a clown,
was idiocy.
right? I'm not going to eat there.
Idiocy.
Yeah. So, Walmart's most recent logo too, right? They've spent $1.2 million redoing their logo, and they literally just thickened the lines.
Well, and that's
I want
something
that job.
too that I want to get into. But so for me, I looked at this and I went, Cracker Barrel, I think this was a smart move.
Okay.
I don't think, is this a 10? No, it's not a 10. But I think it's a 6 or a 7. I think they did a good job for a couple of reasons. You mentioned it briefly. Their demographic is aging. and they're aging out. They're dying. So you need to now try and connect with a more youthful market. Well, where's a youthful market going to look you up and check you out? It ain't on a billboard, and it's not on television. It's on an iPhone. And so when you have this illustration in a logo, it's even I printed it off pretty big, and Uncle Herschel here does not have a lot of definition. And it's very hard to embroider that. It's hard to use it in a lot of different settings, and it just doesn't connect well with a youthful market. Now, it's going to take more than a logo to attract a youthful market, but I think they moved in the right direction.
My question, though, Travis, are you going to get the youthful market? I'm talking kids in their 20s, 30s, even into their 40s. Are you going to get them to move to Cracker Barrel when they're stuck at their coffee shops where they're having coffee and their croissants and things like that? Are you going to get them to eat a hearty breakfast like Cracker Barrel serves? I just don't think you're going to move it. I think you need to target more, the mid 50s up to the 70-year-olds. That's where I think you need to go. And I don't think that nails it.
And for that logo, you're probably right. It doesn't nail that 50 plus market.
Correct.
Turn the barrel sideways and put Cracker Barrel on that.
Well, that's what they did.
Well,
that's
I'd
kind
still
of
make
what
it
they
look
did.
like
Right.
Barrel, though, and add the logo. I don't
Maybe
know.
a little definition to it.
Yeah.
I thought they left a little too much negative space around it. I don't want to get too inside baseball and marketing.
Well, it's national, right? I rarely go to Cracker Barrel here, but when I'm traveling, if I see the Cracker Barrel sign, I'm going to stop because I know I'm going to get
you know what
pretty
you're gonna
consistent food. It's going to be home cooking. I'm going to be full when I leave. I'm with you, Todd. I think your market still is 50 to 70, 75.
It is.
People in the late 40s coming into 50s could be new potential. I get it, though. With all of the phone and the marketing that's done now, it's on your phone and stuff. You have to have a clean, good looking.
And it's easier to embroider. I do like that they kept the C and the B connected because you can pull that out and you can use that as an icon. Yeah. I do like the black and yellow. It's a good high contrast. I think they're moving in the right direction. But like I said, my caveat was you're not going to attract a youthful market as Cracker Barrel sits. The logo is not going to do it one way or the other. You have to make changes within. And I did bring an example of that we'll talk about as well. But to me, the old Cracker Barrel logo had a glaring, hilarious faux pas in it. And I don't know if it's just... One thing I've always said is when you hire a professional marketing team, and I think it's extremely important that you do, because they have a group of people that look at things from different angles.
Correct.
And one of those people has to be a smartass, because if you don't have that person in the room, you're going to miss something obvious. Do you know what the obvious glaring faux pas is in this to me?
What?
You have Uncle Herschel,
Correct.
right? You have a white guy leaning against a barrel.
Yep.
What's the derogatory term for a white guy?
Cracker.
Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel. I look at this, I laugh. I'm like, I think it's hilarious. Get the cracker out of there. Get the barrel out of there. It just, if they bounced this off, it had to be on purpose.
Only Travis would think of that, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't see that at all.
now
he's
that you
the
say it,
token
I get
essay in the
Oh,
group.
I'm
There you go.
big
That's
time.
what it is, Todd.
I am big time that guy.
Right?
He's the smartest.
Of the three of us, we just narrowed it down.
Yeah.
But you have to have them. You have to have them, because if you don't have them, you're going to miss things like this. And I can't be the only one that saw that. David, did you see it? No?
No.
You see it now, though, don't you?
I like it now that you said that. I get it. I get
Bring
it.
back the cracker in the barrel.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you were to redo the Cracker Barrel logo, what would you have done? What are some thoughts that you would have done? Like, for me, they have this kind of blown out K. I would have probably brought that back into the logo, maybe.
Yeah, I would have cleaned it up a little bit. But I wouldn't have went this drastic. To me, it's very bland now. It's just like, it's
It
Cracker
is.
Barrel. I mean, you need to add some things to it that still make it stand out.
Yeah.
Like Herschel, right? I mean, that's why it was created, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Again, I just think they missed the mark. But because there has to be a lot more than just this logo, like you were saying,
Right.
Travis. I mean, their menu's going to have to change. Their coffees are going to have to change if they're going after this younger demographic. That's just my point. Time will tell, but there's 200 million reasons why they shouldn't have did it right now, because that's how much they lost so far.
Right.
So, time will tell.
And one lesson I will hand out to our listeners is when you hire an expert, make sure that you are listening to that expert, because we do have a lot of times where, and I'm sure you've had this when you ran your agency, as soon as somebody writes a check, they have all kinds of opinions on how their marketing should go.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't know anything about marketing.
Yep.
And so that can get dangerous. But the one thing that we had talked about trying to reach that youthful market is Oldsmobile, right? So when we were young, that was a long time ago when we were all young.
Yeah.
Do you remember what their big rollout was in the, I think it was early 90s? Because they were trying to reach us, because we were all in our 20s, I would imagine, 1990, right?
Yeah.
No, but go ahead.
I want to hear this, because I'm sure that it will.
It'll ring a bell.
Yeah.
This is not your father's Oldsmobile, right? That was Leo Burnett, the Leo Burnett agency out of Chicago, which I thought was an absolutely brilliant marketing campaign, because what did Oldsmobile or Oldmobiles, what did Oldmobiles make? Old people cars. Yep. And so they changed up their logo, which I thought they did a decent job. I brought a picture of it. We'll share this, of course. I'll hold it up for the camera and show. But they changed their logo. They had a great phrase. They were trying to reach a youthful market, and that's all they did. They didn't change anything within their business to try and reach that youthful market. And when you look at, here's everything that Oldsmobile made after rolling out This Is Not Your Father's Oldsmobile. They made the Aurora, which is a four-door sedan. They made the Intrigue, which was a four-door sedan. They made the Alero, which is a four-door sedan. They made the Achieva, which is a four-door sedan. They made the Bravada, which is a four-door SUV. And they made the Silhouette, which is a minivan. Which of those cars is not your father's Oldsmobile?
Oh, definitely the minivan.
Yeah, because it's your mom's.
Yeah.
Right.
It's mom's.
School kids.
Yeah.
So you sit there and you go, man, you set the table. You set it up. You had a great line. This is not your father's Oldsmobile. We are going to hit the youth market, and we're going to do it with four-door sedans.
Well, see, so Cracker Barrel, let's go back to that a little bit, right?
Sure.
I have no idea what their entire marketing bridge is. Maybe they're changing things completely, but for me personally, I'm on my phone all the time. I'm on the computer all the time. I only get my news online on a very specific feed that I have, because I don't like all the negative, bad news. I just want facts, and that's it, right? They're not Cracker Barrel. I've never seen them target me ever with an ad ever.
Nope.
Have you?
Nope. No.
Have you ever seen them
Not
target
one.
anything? No. So their target market is you're driving on the interstate and you see the big Cracker Barrel sign, just like the big M for McDonald's, and you know you can pull over there and you're going to get a home cooked meal like you've always gotten everywhere. So maybe they have other plans. Maybe they're like, we are going to expand. We're going to change the menu or whatever. Again, secret sauce, Southwest, pay for your bags now, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, listen, it's time for us to take a break.
I know. And
Right?
I could go on.
Okay.
I could go the whole hour and a half, no commercials,
Absolutely.
just on this.
But anyway, you're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Catch us on the other side. We're going to be talking with Todd Calfee today from Western National Bank.
Building business, one story at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And you're back on the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish talking with Todd Calfee over at Western National Bank. And actually, we're talking to Todd Calfee, the former ad agency owner right now of the Minnow Project, because we're talking marketing. And we mentioned so many things that I let's extend this and keep going, because I think this is really good lessons. So this segment is sponsored by Western National Bank. How about that?
Go Western National Bank.
Yeah, and the UPS stores. So the UPS stores, we absolutely love these guys, and they went through a logo refresh. They redid their logo about 15 years ago because remember it used to have the shield. I call it a shield. That's not what it is for them. And it had a little package above it. About 2003, 2004, they kind of pushed it all together and gave it a gradient, which I thought was cool at the time. You don't really want gradients in your logo. But then just about a year ago, they got rid of the gradient. They made it a little bit more contrasting. And so I thought they did a very good job with their logo refresh. Amazon, you mentioned Walmart, Gary. They just redid their logo. And Prime, of course, they did their logo. Now, I hear people, because like you said, $1.25 million for the Walmart logo refresh.
Yeah, I could have colored that in.
You could have. It's something that you could have done. But here are the things that most people don't see. Because I threw it out to Todd because in the back of my head, I'm going, if Walmart came to me, yeah, it'd be $1 million project, I'm guessing, because there are so many things that go into this that you don't know. If it was just somebody goes, hey, I got an idea for a logo, here it is, I did it on Canva, right? 1.2 million, yeah, you're way overpaying for this. But how many focus groups?
Yeah.
How many logos did they design?
That's correct.
How many people are in the meetings?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what people miss so much is they think advertising agencies are just, and like you said, I mean, fair to you, Gary, you could have taken, and I saw, people are saying it should have been a $60,000 logo. Well, I don't know how they come up with that price. That doesn't make sense to me. In my opinion, what they did was a $6 change, not 60,000.
Yeah.
Because anybody could have went in and did that. It's what happens behind the scenes that we, or lay people that aren't in this business, don't understand. That little change, I think it was totally worth the 1.25 million. In fact, I think it could have been 12 million and they could have got away with it. Number one, it's global. It's a global company. So they're interviewing people all over the world, right? So they're interviewing all these people. Then they have to narrow it down and find, let's say, 5,000 people to do a special focus group. Well, that focus group, they bring the people in. They feed them dinner. They have a list of questions. Those people have a certain amount of time to answer those questions. It's not the actual, it's not just that little logo change. It's what goes into making that change that people just don't realize.
Years ago, this is how I learned this lesson so hard. We got a company, they made corn stoves, right? Remember when they used to burn corn in little wood burning stoves? Sure. And they wanted a logo and they wanted a website. And so we go in and we just price it, like we normally did at the time. Went in, sat down, had our first meeting, and there's 15 people in the room. I go, wow, okay, well, let's run around the table and tell me who you are and what you do. They had 2 people off the factory floor who were literally hanging doors on stoves. They were going to give us advice on direction. And we had a couple of people from the office. We had an accounting person in there. We had all these people in here who didn't know one damn thing about marketing. Now you have all these people who they're going to share their opinion because they have to, because I'm on this committee. I'm not on the factory floor. I got to prove my worth. So I have to crap all over whatever it is these people bring. And the project, you want to talk about running over budget? And it was on us because all these people are giving opinions. So you look at the Walmart logo and go, yeah, I could have done it for $10. Yeah, I probably could have. Any of us could have. But what was the nightmare that went in behind it?
Oh, absolutely.
So as a business owner, when you're looking at things like this, start thinking about how you're going to interact with your agency because it is going to affect your pricing.
Gary, I see you. I see you're going. You're ready to go.
I'm just going crazy over here. I'm like going. So, did everybody need a new lenses on their glasses? So let's make it thicker. Here's my thing. Okay, you're 2 big marketing gurus, right? So on the left hand, they're the original one,
right?
What needs to change there? Why are you going to do a new logo? Let's start there. Just like what's on the old logo? It's like, oh, we have an old logo. We need to be fresher and brighter and better. What's wrong with that one?
Let's see if we agree on this one. Go ahead, Todd.
Personally?
Don't talk about the new one. Just what's wrong with the old one?
Nothing.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
So why?
Absolutely nothing.
So why spend $1.2 million to give people a reason to need a job?
Their whole idea, and
kidding.
I look at it and go, do I like the new one better? I do. I like the colors bolder. I like the font a little bit better, but there's nothing wrong with the old
I'll
one.
say one thing I noticed when you put it up to the screen.
Yeah.
If you want to do that again, when you put it up to the screen, I see the words Walmart in the new one much better. Do you see that?
Yes.
So if you're going to use it on TV more, real quick, coming across my phone in a 2-second flash, I will probably see that better.
Yeah.
So maybe it took a lot of people to get to where it's like, we just need to make it more visible or something. I don't know.
And honestly, I mean, Walmart is still Walmart. Don't get me wrong, but it's turned into a tech company. I mean, Walmart has turned into tech. Mm-hmm. They're selling so many things online now. They have to keep up with the competition. Does this display itself better? I don't know. Time will tell. Like I always say. I like it better.
Well, and 1.2 million for Walmart.
But I don't think they needed to do
half of it dripping.
No, I don't think they had to do it. But again, a 1.25 million. Nah, it's not a big deal. To us, it is.
Yeah.
I would love to have a budget for somebody to
I'd
tell
love
me
some of that gravy to slop over on my taters,
I
man.
want my logo a little bit bigger, and I want a little bit different color. I'll give you 1.25. Yeah.
And Amazon did the same thing.
Yep.
Amazon Prime, of course, part of Amazon. Let me see if I can get that up to the camera. I don't know. Did I send this to you guys? And same goes. Did they need a logo refresh? No, I don't think so. Do I like the new one better? In both instances for Amazon, I actually do.
It's more bold.
It's bold. Most people look at, like the Prime in particular, you look at it and you go, oh, it's the Amazon arrow. It's actually a smile, but most people don't know that. And they've done a horrible job sharing that story by tightening it up, putting a little bit more of a bow in the arrow.
Yep.
It's kind of turned. You can see a smile a little bit more.
I agree with that.
We were talking about Federal Express.
Yeah,
right?
FedEx the Arrow. A lot of people don't know about the Arrow.
Most people don't know it's there.
Yeah.
And that's a brand where I think they could do, I think they would really benefit from one of these slight variations. If you put a little shade in the arrow or something, just barely anything.
So if FedEx is listening, Transformation Marketing,
that's
give
right.
Travis a call. Yeah. He'll do it, and he won't charge you 1.25.
I'll charge you 2.25
minimum.
depending on if you have delivery drivers in the conference room when we're doing the logo. That's going to change your price. So very interesting. We're going to have you back at some point because we're actually here to talk about Western National Bank. Surprise, surprise, right?
It's a bank.
The listeners would never know it.
Yeah.
But when we come back, let's talk a little bit about that. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Todd Calfee from Western National Bank, and we'll be back right after this.
Lincoln's entrepreneurs, one conversation at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
Thanks for sticking with us through that break. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. My name's Gary Tharnish, my co-host Travis Filing. We're speaking with Todd Calfee today from Western National Bank, which is going to have a lot of fun just talking marketing here to begin with. But this segment's sponsored by Complete Family Dermatology and Mendoza Family Insurance, two great companies right there. So be sure and use them when you have those types of needs. And this segment is called our 5 Takeaways segment. And we have a new sponsor.
We have a sponsor.
Yes.
Yes.
They're awesome. They were here last week.
Last week, he just kind of blurted out, he's like, I'll sponsor this. This is great. So it's Gabe. We appreciate you. Gabe Sanchez from Nebraska Farmers Network. He's actually across the street from your bank.
Gabe was in the bank a few days ago.
Oh, geez.
Good
There
man.
you go.
Yeah.
He is a great guy.
Yeah,
he
he
really is.
wears a super cool shirt named Poncho. The brand is Poncho. And I've been looking at ponchos too. So him and I started talking about shirts.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's
And Caleb, who's working for them now too, is really, really a great guy.
he's a sharp kid.
He good hire.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely a good hire. Well, 5 takeaways. This is where we ask you 5 questions, just something that business owners and people who are running businesses and managers and aspiring entrepreneurs can take some information with them and apply it to their companies on Monday morning. So, first question is, what's the number one lesson you learned as a business owner that you have taken into banking?
Yeah,
And we should probably clarify what your role is in at the bank.
Yeah,
right?
I think we're all still trying to clarify what my role is at the bank.
I was looking for your title. I'm like, I'll just make something up.
At least I'm not lying. I've got I get to work with an amazing group of people. But in a nutshell, basically what I do at the bank is I introduce good people to good people. That's my job. That's what I do. Where that takes place, it just, you never know if it's a coffee shop, if we're hosting a football game or whatever we're doing. I just like to introduce good people to good people. And there's a whole story behind that of Dallin George and Brian Lavelle, the 2 owners of the bank, and the daughter Cecilia, who I get to work with every day. She's amazing at marketing. She does a lot of amazing things, and we're a small team when it comes to marketing. Most banks have many people in their marketing area. We have 1.5. That's Cecilia's the 1, I'm the half. So,
and luckily it's you though, because you got a lot of experience in marketing. So
What I love about what you said though is great for marketing, right? So you introduce good people to good people. My thought of a bank is, you make a deposit and then you withdraw it when you need it, right? But what's lost there is the relationship, and it's so important. You get in a little trouble, you need a loan, whatever it might be. You're doing some plans for future growth, whatever. Having a relationship with a banker is vital. So I love that what you came out with was introducing good people to good people, because your bank needs to be a team member for your business. It's vital. That, your lawyer, your CPA, all very, very vital.
Yep.
Yeah, you nailed it there, Gary. That it is important, and it is important to have a good accountant, a good lawyer, and a good bank. That's what that's pretty much what you need in business.
Yep.
And then obviously the customers will come and
And a widget.
And
something.
and a widget.
And the thing that most people don't realize is the good bank part. It's easy to find a bank.
Absolutely, they're all over.
Yeah, they're all over the place. And when times are good, you don't really need you need a bank, but it's not like you really need a bank. But when you hit some of those bumps in the road, that's where a good bank really comes into play.
Yeah.
Lines of credit and things like that to help you, one, prepare for those bad times and help you through those bad times.
Well, and that all starts with the relationship.
It does.
With a good person, having met a good person, that's where it starts.
Yep.
There's your
So there we go.
tagline.
So there's
for
kind of what we
Western
do.
National Bank.
Yeah.
Can that all fit on your title in a card?
I don't think so, but I will tell you that we worked hard on identifying, not identifying ourselves as a bank, because we're a great bank, but we talked about what we do really, what makes our bank successful, and it's 3 things: it's community, it's the culture within the bank, which at the end of the day equals commerce.
Right.
We take care of our community. We take care of everybody in the bank, our culture that we've created, or they have created. I've just been there 3 years. And with all that comes the commerce.
Yeah.
That's it.
We were talking to Tim too about hiring as a consultant. Now, one of the things he said that I absolutely love is he hires to culture, not to, for his situation with his office interiors. He goes, I'd hire somebody that doesn't know anything about office interiors if they're a great fit for a culture.
Yeah.
You can teach them all that other stuff. Yeah. But if you hire somebody that knows all that other stuff and is not good for your culture, one bad apple.
Yeah.
Right?
And if our
Spoils
listeners
the whole
missed
cart.
it, that was Tim Kirkpatrick.
Right.
And go back to our podcast, listen to that. He was an excellent interview. Definitely.
That's great.
So what was the one thing that you brought from the agency into banking that helps you do what you do?
Honestly, I can say one word: honesty. That's it. I mean, be honest. You have to be honest with people. So when we owned an advertising agency, we owned the Minnow Project, right? Board of directors and things like that, they want a mission statement.
Right.
We're not into mission statements. We weren't. We had what was called guiding principles. If you guys don't mind, I'll read them.
Please.
Yeah. Number 1 was further the cause of our customer first. That was first to us. Provide service that is addictive. And that was very important. Our service had to be addictive to our customers because there was a ton of advertising agencies out there, right? Be open and honest in our attempt to earn a reasonable profit. There's that honesty. We have to be upfront and let you know that this is,
this isn't a charity.
This isn't a charity. Well, I mean, it's just not.
I don't do it for the love of the game. I do it for money, as does everybody else here. Now, we love the game.
Yeah.
But we do it for money.
Yeah,
Right.
we have to. Otherwise, we're not there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way it is.
Love
Number
that.
4 was to embrace new, respect old, and never stop learning. Goes back to our logos, right?
There you go.
We were just talking about. Number 5 was eradicate arrogance. We didn't want arrogant people in our agency. It just didn't work.
And
ruin your
agencies
culture.
are lousy with arrogant people.
Tons. Get noticed in a good way was number 6. Number 7 was maintain an environment that fosters creativity. So there's that culture, that environment, right? Mm-hmm. Number 8, realize there doesn't always have to be a number 8. Because there doesn't. That's what we said. Number 9, choose to be positive. And 10 is live today. And Marty, my former business partner, is the one who told me, you made number 10, live today. You live for the day. And I always have, and I'm proud of that. But yeah, just be honest with people.
Yeah.
And that relates to banking. It's the same thing. We're transparent about what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I
definitely.
absolutely love that.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
So your role, it's kind of I wouldn't say salesy role, but the traditional go out, build relationships, that's a salesperson's role.
Absolutely.
So what's your best advice for sales and building that lasting client relationship?
You just said it.
Yeah,
Honesty,
go ahead,
number 1.
Yeah.
Honesty.
Go on from there.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? And I tell this when I speak at schools, universities, high schools or something. You have to know your audience, right? You got to know your audience. Who you're going to, if you're an entrepreneur and you want a customer, learn that customer. Know all about that customer. Know about their family. I mean, do as much investigative stuff as you can on that person. So that you don't walk in there and say, hey, I'm Todd from Acme Advertising, and I'd like to earn your business. Boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about your son who is, that's playing golf at Southwest. I've been following him. I'm just making this up, but get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definite.
No, I absolutely
It's all
love
relational.
that, man. Yeah. So now in banking, because banking, all industries are pretty competitive, but banking, man, oh man, banks are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
And they are uber competitive. Yep. And how do you, in the banking industry, how do you stand out? How do you find these opportunities in a competitive market?
Well, and real quick, when you say banks are everywhere too, I remember when my daughter's like, I'm like, well, we need to get you a bank. She said, I have a bank account. I'm like, you have a bank account? Yeah. Well, you have an app.
Yeah.
Where's your bank? Well,
Yeah.
what do you mean, Dad? Where's your bank? If you need to drive to your bank today, where's your bank? Well, it's an app. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it's everything anymore.
See, and I'm
Just throwing that out there because I remember being so shocked. I'm like, wait, what?
And here's something that, because my son is 22 and he's, we're getting ready to buy a house and move into that, adult stage. And same thing. His bank was online.
Yep.
I go, it doesn't work that way. He goes, oh yeah, it's simple. I can round up. I can do savings.
Take
I
a
can do
picture of my
this, I can
check,
do that.
deposit it.
Right. And it's all quick. It's all convenient. It's all easy. I go, here's the deal. Somebody needs to know you personally. Because if you don't have a personal relationship with a banker and then you roll in and go, hey, I've got an idea and I need to borrow $500,000, the bank is going to go compute their little numbers online and go, nope. Yep. Whereas a personal relationship, they go, you know what? Travis works his backside off. And if I loan him $1 million, I have a relationship with him. I have knowledge of him. I know who he is. And I think this is a low risk endeavor. And you're more likely to get a loan if you know your banker as opposed to some computer doing numbers online.
Yeah.
Well, when you think of small business, what is the biggest risk in that? There's a lot of risk in loaning money to any small business. But one of the biggest risks is, who are you, the owner? What are your ethics? What are your standards? Are you honest? Do you tell the truth? What is the culture of where you are? If you have that relationship, you already walk in one step ahead of anybody else, 20 steps ahead of an app, or just fill in the blanks.
Yeah. We had one this kid that was living with us for a while. We were helping him out, and kid was saving money like crazy and wanted to buy a house and wanted to start moving into that direction. He had no credit, not bad credit, just no credit.
Yeah, it happens.
And brought him in to your bank, sat him down, and said, "Here's the deal." Kid had like 30 grand in the bank or something like that. I said, "You need to get a loan on a truck." He goes, "I'd rather just pay for it." No, I get that. But you need to start building a relationship with a banker. Now, if you move that 30 grand into, Todd's bank or Dallin's bank, then they're going to be able to give you a little bit better rate because there's no risk, right? And so he did it and got a loan for his truck. And I go, you can pay it off in a year, make some payments and then pay it off. You have, money to pay, but you're building a relationship with a bank and you're building credit.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's important.
Yeah, it's key. My daughter, real young in life. It sounds terrible, but we got her a credit card so she could start building credit. I mean, she was coached on that credit card.
I don't think that sounds terrible at all. The key is you coached on it.
Yeah.
How many kids get a credit card when they are 21? Parents haven't said anything about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
and
worse.
they're like, "Oh, I have $12,000."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They think it's a savings account.
She's 27 years old now, and she told me her credit was at the 800 level. And I go, "Jeez, wow, good for you." She's bought in 2 cars, and she's made monthly payments on those 2 cars until they were paid off. She's got outstanding credit. So,
yeah.
It's,
See, and we did the same thing with my son. He got a credit card, and he put a pizza on the credit card. And I said, "You just financed a pizza for 30 years. And you saw it just kind of sink in like, oh my gosh, I did. Now, don't get me wrong. We use credit cards like crazy.
Yeah.
But we pay them off every month before the interest kicks in.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm sure that's going to change within the credit card companies because they're not making money off of me. I'm making money off of them.
Correct.
But I'm sure they're doing fine.
They're making some money off you.
I'm sure they're doing
that merchant's
fine.
paying a
Yeah.
percentage. So, yeah.
But so yeah, for you, spotting opportunities in this competitive market, how do you spot these opportunities? Or do you just wait for these opportunities to happen?
Well, no. I mean, you do have to spot them. And as a bank, we're looking for people that need, they don't know what to really do with their money or how to go about getting money. So again, it goes back to that relationship, right? Because you can't go on an app and know that person, right? You have to talk to them. You have to understand them. And Western National Bank does an amazing job of that. Now, we can't guarantee that we're going to give a loan to everybody or we're going to take this money because that's not the way we operate. But again, at least we can give you some guidance.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the honesty part. Like, hey, I can't loan you that money today, but I see your vision. I see what it is. I know you. Let's do these steps so that a year from now we could do that or whatever. I mean, but that's the relational part again. Almost all the answer to all these questions.
Yeah,
is
it really
relational.
Is. It really is. I'm looking at the questions, trying to pre-read them. I'm like, well, this is becoming one takeaway, but but it's still it's such a great takeaway.
Learning a ton.
And I'm looking at number 4. What should business owners know about building trust with customers? Well, number 1, trust is. Most people are very skeptical. They are. You build that trust.
Trust is earned.
Bingo. You just said that's the word that I wrote down. It's earned. You earn that trust with being transparent, with being honest, and education with them. Yeah, somebody's going to come in and beat us by 1/4 point. Okay. Well, at the end of 5 years, what's that look like? Have you learned more from it? Yeah, maybe it was a little bit high. Maybe we're lower. I don't know. But be transparent, open, earn that trust. Don't think it's just going to be there because it doesn't work that way.
I'm trying to think, and I'm going to massacre this quote, but it was an NFL player who he was talking about trust. It might not have been trust, but he goes, trust is earned, but it's also rented, and the rent's due every day. You have to work at it every single day to keep that trust because one thing, I mean, you have a relationship with somebody 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I mean, even think of it as like a marriage, right?
Yeah.
30 years of marriage, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh, so-and-so had an affair. Boom. One thing, and it's gone.
Yep.
And you have to earn that every
and it's
single
interesting
day.
to see culturally how business minds work. Because I remember in the 80s when I first opened up my business, you'd go to these conferences and stuff. And I remember talking to another business owner that was like, I was sharing some situation that we got into that was just messy. It was my error. I told the customer, it's my error. And they're like, oh my God, I would never do that. You need to learn how to white lie properly. And I'm like, what? and it was a thing. Literally in the 80s, that was kind of a thing. Yeah, all little white lies, they'll never know, So like, you call up and you're like, and Todd, you're like, where's my wife's flowers? I ordered them this morning. Oh, they're on the way. I'm sorry, we got lie. They're on the way. Hang up, and everybody goes like, does anybody know where Todd's ticket is that took the order for this? Oh gosh, now I got to call him back and go, oh hey, the driver was in a car accident, and we're I was just like,
he turned a corner and it went out the window.
Yeah, but it's like if you just come back to, it's like in the world of DEI and all that other stuff that we talked about, right? At the end of the day, be kind, be honest, and as the good Lord said, love one another. You know, those things, if you can do them, the relationships build, all these things kind of fall in, not kind of, they do fall into place. But you're right about you can earn a trust and you can lose it
really fast.
One day with one lie, one just little fib, whatever you want to call it.
You know, one thing that I always did and still do in my business is if somebody on my team makes a mistake, I own it.
Absolutely.
When I call up the client, this is my fault.
Yep.
I don't go, well, one of our interns, this or that. No, it's my fault because it is my fault.
Yep.
Because these people are under my supervision. They're under my care. Yeah. And if they make a mistake and I missed it and it goes out the door, that's my fault. And I'll be the first one. I'm sure customers are out there going, man, they ought to fire Travis because he screws everything
No, they're
up.
not. They admire it because you own it. That's the big thing. You own it. My dad's saying all the time, like someone was asked one day, your dad have a saying? He had a lot of them, measure twice, cut once. But the one I remember the most is, son, it's not the mistakes you make in life that matter. It is what you do about them.
Yep.
Because mistakes are steps on the ladder of learning success. So if you make a mistake, you own it, and it's what you do about it that counts.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Well, that was 5 takeaways boiled down to one takeaway from 5 different directions, right?
Oh my God. Segment.
I love that. Absolutely love it. And I want to thank Nebraska Farmers Network for sponsoring 5 takeaways. Interesting company. We're going to be talking a lot about those guys in the coming weeks. But go online, check them out. It's NebraskaFarmersNetwork.com. They have a sign up for their newsletter. They have a blog. They're really trying to help keep Nebraska ag. Keep things family owned, keep things local. It's just an interesting business. And I want to have them back on too, because they're kind of the first ones. Nobody else is doing
Good
what
people.
they do. So it's very unique. You're listening to the 402 Business Owner. My gosh. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider, and a couple of business owners are doing the show. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Todd Calfee from Western National Bank. We'll be back right after this.
Where Nebraska business owners tell their story. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And welcome back to the 402 Business Insider. This segment is brought to us by James Arthur Vineyards, Integrated Behavioral Health Services, and Lincoln Coin and Bullion. And it's time for Unexpected Impact, which is not sponsored yet. I can't believe it's not sponsored yet. But this is where we ask our guests something that was unexpected, that had an impact either on your business or on the bank. So we can do marketing, we could do Western National. But what was something that happened within your business, totally unexpected, had a big impact, and how did you deal with it?
It's interesting that you would bring that up because it's got to do with banks and the advertising agency.
Okay.
So I had Minnow Project, and we were, as you know, Travis, most advertising agencies have a bank on record that you do work with. I mean, that's just the way, at least that's the way it used to work. Now, I have no idea how it works, but we had this bank, and, we were a smaller agency. We were financed by the bank. We had a loan with them, and I really wanted their business. But the guy who owned it really didn't like advertising agencies.
Oh,
No. But something that I did or said when I was in there, he kind of took a liking to me. He was an older guy. And, I remember being in his office, and his wife would call him on the phone, and then he'd hang up, and he'd look at me and say, Todd, don't let me forget that I need to buy my wife cookies before I go home. So I would remind him. Really good guy. Well, the marketing department within that bank called me and said, I don't know how you've convinced the old man, but he really does like you, and we are doubling the budget for next year.
oh,
And so he says,
Over cookies?
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's,
So he's
there's
like,
the secret sauce.
mental note.
yeah. So he tells, the marketing area there tells me, he says, take your staff out, enjoy, and we'll give you a call when we're ready to move.
Nice.
It'll probably be Monday. I go, man, this is great. So we all went out, and I think there was 10 of us at the time at the agency. We all went out. We hooped it up. It was a big night, and a lot of fun happened. Well, that Monday, the phone didn't ring. I thought, okay, what happened here? Phone didn't ring. I got a call on that Friday from the marketing department. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna use names, but I answer the phone. I'm like, hey, what's up? He says, don't do anything. The old man died.
Oh my gosh.
That's fairly unexpected.
Yeah, you want something unexpected?
Yeah.
That's unexpected.
And that had an impact.
That's pretty unexpected.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And so there was a new regime that came in, and we had been doing some really, really good stuff for them. And this new regime came in, and I showed him some of the stuff we were doing for the creative, and he goes, yeah, cute. And he kept throwing the,
Oh, jeez.
and I go, ooh, this isn't good.
Trashed it off.
I can tell right now I'm not going to see eye to eye with this guy. So I went back to my business partner. I said, I'm not walking back in there. I said, because you know me, I've got a temper, da-da-da. Oh, don't worry about it. I got this covered. He came back and said, this is not going to work. And I go, what do we do? Because it was a good chunk of change that we were gambling on.
Yeah.
And we owed them.
And it just got double.
We owe them a lot of money, right? And I was assured by the bank president, the owner, the new owner, don't worry about this, we're just not going to do work together. But, you can pay your loan back like it was stated. And so that was all great. Well, 30 days later, I'm still young in business, right? I just bought a house, just moved out on an acre, just 1998. Didn't know how I was going to afford it anyways, but now with this happened, I'm like, oh boy.
Right.
My wife got a demand notice that said you owe X amount of money within 30 days.
Oh,
She was crying.
They
at the
called your
table.
note?
Called my note. And
Oh,
so,
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. So,
Whoa.
yeah, you talk about unexpected. So I looked at my wife with a big grin. I said, don't worry about it, honey. I got this. And I go, what am I going to do?
How do I get this?
So went around, found a bank that was willing to, take a chance with us. A banking relationship I still have to this day. Hint, hint, Western National Bank. Anyways, took a chance, got a check. And my business partner said, well, I'm going to go to the previous bank and hand this check to him to pay him off. I go, oh, no, you're not.
Oh, no.
I am.
No.
So I went into this bank and handed them the check and had a few choice words to say. And we were done with that. And I just don't have any, I guess for me, I don't want to deal with people like that ever
Right.
again.
Okay.
So I don't. How did we recoup that? We found a better bank and a bigger bank with a bigger budget. And because they had seen the work that we had been doing for this other bank, and they came in and actually, funny story, I'm going to try to make this quick. This bank came in to interview us with 4 people. They came into Minnow Project. They had 4 people. I had my lab in the back of my black lab in the back of the office. And so she shut back there so we could have this meeting. At this point, we had, plenty of employees, and they came in. So we welcomed in and went up to the conference table. Well, the dog snuck out. Dog snuck out, goes up to, he was not the president at this time of this bank, but he is the president now. The dog, I go, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry she came out. And he goes, no, that's fine. I love dogs. Petted the dogs. And the dog went back into the office. Dog goes back, goes to bed. We come out, and I open up and start doing my pitch of why we should earn this business. About 2 minutes into the pitch, he goes, you can stop everything. He said, you were hired once I met your dog. That's how I earned the business.
I love it.
That's
And
funny.
And that
they
dog,
were-
dogs can sense dog
Oh
lovers.
man,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, we had a great relationship with them for many years, and love them. So that's
And
how.
you bought good treats for that dog.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh!
You better have.
Yeah, I think that dog might have went home and had a beer with me. I can't remember, but the dog was happy. I was happy. The
Nice.
company was happy, and so it was all
That's
good.
great.
That's funny. You know what's crazy is a lot of times in advertising, we had a client that the guy he owned it was a gym, right? And the guy's name was Marlon. Great guy. He hired us to try and build back up his memberships. And this was, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. And we put a plan together, one of the most proud campaigns I'd ever been a part of. And I showed it to him, and he goes, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen." He goes, "But you're the expert. So we're going to go with it, because if you're convinced that this will work, then we're going to do it." And I thought, oh, I love this guy because he doesn't see it, but that's okay because he's not our target market. And we ran the campaign. We actually did. Brian Eckleberry was our talent, who he used to be on this radio station and a couple other ones within the building. One of the funniest people you'll ever meet. And we had dressed him up in, those crazy 80s, and we bought all these weird at home, Thigh Master and whatever else. It was probably one of the most successful campaigns that we had ever done that worked this quick. Yeah. And Marlon came in and he goes, "I am ecstatic. You did in 1 year what we were hoping to do in 5. And he goes, "I just sold the business." I go, "Oh, all right. Well, hey, man, I just earned some bona fides here. I've got some chops." Almost to the letter. I wonder if it was the same guy. He bought it. He came in. He goes, "That's cute." Use the word cute, which is like a slap in the face.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, "Well, that's cute, but we're going in a different direction." I thought, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I know who you're talking about. He's my landlord for 31 years. And
Oh,
I remember
Marlon was?
in 2001, right? It's huge. It happened in 2001. I just bought the largest shop in town, borrowed money, spent a lot of my retirement money doing so, and that 9/11 happened. I just pulled the rug out from under. I remember calling him up and going, "I'm going to be having trouble paying rent." And he goes, "You're a believer, right?" I go, "Yeah." So we got down on our knees, said a prayer, and he goes, "Pay me rent when you can."
Wow. That's
the kind of man
so
he is.
Marlon.
And he
awesome.
is successful because of that.
Yes.
Sure.
And he was the first one I paid back as fast as I could when I needed to.
Of course.
He pulled me through a time when I didn't know how I'd feed my kids. I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder
He's
if
a good man.
I wonder if he's still around
Yes.
because he would be an excellent chat. Because what's funny,
Yeah, I want to meet him.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, I wanna meet him.
I can't think of his last name.
Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Marlon Schwartz.
Yep, Marlon
He's
Schwartz.
still around. He'd be 96, 97.
And I'll bet you he's healthier, well, than at least you and me. Maybe not Todd, but I mean, he was so fit. But I had, even after he sold that business, I still had a relationship with the people that worked for him. He knew how to build a culture. People loved him. He was such a good guy.
Yeah.
Love hearing that.
Well, we are running out of time here. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Todd Calfee about Western National Bank and marketing and all kinds of other things. So, and that was Unexpected Impact. And if you were sponsoring it, we would insert your business's information right now. So, we'll be back right after this break.
Stories of local success. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
Thanks for sticking with us through that break. Or if you're just now tuning in, welcome. You're listening to 402 Business Insider. I'm Gary Tharnish with Home Design Real Estate Group. Travis Filing, my co-host with Transformation Marketing. And today we're talking to Todd Calfee with Western National Bank. This segment is sponsored by the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. If you are not a chamber member, you need to be. You're not out there in the, as an entrepreneur, it's easy to feel like you're out there in the ocean all by yourself. But that's where networking groups, the chamber, organizations like that really help.
Yes.
So join
you
if you're
guys
not.
are a member.
Yeah, we're members of the chamber, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you what. The thing with the chamber is you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
I mean, truly.
It's true.
You go to a lot of the events, you will get business.
Yeah.
It's
And also sponsored by L&K, the Lincoln Airport. Great place to fly out of. Listen, honestly, if you can get a ticket within $125 of any other airport, specifically maybe the one to our east, fly out of Lincoln. Let's do the city a favor. We really need to build the airport up. The amount of money that it brings into the city is important. So this segment is called This Needs an Adjustment. And of course, my dear friend and chiropractor, Brian at Ascend Chiropractic, is the sponsor of this segment. Thank you, Brian and staff. They're amazing out there. And kind of just like it says, if your back is hurting or your leg, your knee, your ear, it's crazy all the things they can adjust. There's something out there to help you. Don't avoid going to a chiropractor for any reason. And Brian at Ascend is great. So with that in mind, this needs an adjustment, right? So tell us a time in your business career where something really needed an adjustment. For me, and at some point, I'm going to interview Travis for a whole show, and he's going to interview.
That'll be interesting.
But for me, what needed adjustment was in 1996, and it was me. But anyway, what's ever happened with the bank or Minnow where you guys just needed an adjustment? What was it? How did it work out?
Yeah, so I guess when it comes to an adjustment honestly, our agency, it flowed really nicely, right? We had, I think at one point we might have had like 20 employees, and but I identified something that was an issue, and it happened to be employee-based, and this particular employee had a way of kind of influencing others and, making them not focus on what the direction is that the Minnow project was taking. But the thing about our agency is everybody was very talented. We had a great team. I mean, we needed each one of those employees to fulfill what we were doing. One day, that employee that happened to be, let's just say a bad part of our environment, came back to Marty in his office, which was real close to my office, and he said, "Marty, this is going to look like blank when I finish with it. Tell the client they're stupid," or something like that. And Marty Hager is one of the nicest, calmest people you'd ever meet. And Marty's like, "Well, employee X over here, we'll work on it, and we'll fine, you better," this other person said. It needed an adjustment. So I asked that employee to come back to my office, and I said, "I need your keys. You're fired. Don't ever come back in here." And he was dumbfounded, and you could have heard a pin drop in that 4,000 square feet. That was an adjustment that had to happen.
Had to happen.
Hate doing that type of stuff.
Those are hard.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's so necessary.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it the right way. You're supposed to have somebody else in there or something. And so then Marty came out and he goes, "What did you just do? He was so talented." And I go, "Yeah." I go, "But nobody's going to talk to you that way." So he's gone. We'll figure this out.
Talent is only going to take you so far. And when you have a group of people, or when you have a person who thinks they can go in and talk to your boss, talk to the owner a certain way, that starts poisoning the well. Mm-hmm. And it starts eroding, that relationship, that respect.
I learned that day about 10 minutes later when our creative services director, because it was a very somber place at that time, because Todd just got mad and Todd let somebody go. And our creative services director came back to my office. God rest his soul, Randy Gibson, an amazing person. Randy came back and said, "Thank you. Thank you for doing that."
Well, there you go. Yeah, it was infecting the culture.
It was.
Without a doubt. I mean, you can be uber talented, and that's wonderful, but if you're not humble, it's just important to be humble and just know that that's a God-given gift that you have, and to use it as such, you share it, but you don't lord it over, manipulate, all those things that get your 10 steps at the beginning. Wait, we didn't need number 10, right? The 9, whatever it was.
Yeah.
When you go back to those, I bet he fit, 2 of them? Maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But man, the talent he had. And he went on to another agency, did really well. I'm sure he's on the coast now doing great things for people. He was young. And maybe it was a blessing that I did what I did. I don't know.
It was probably a big blessing for him, depending.
Depending.
on how he took it. But
Now my brain is like spinning because I've had a couple of people who worked at your agency who did work for my agency. Was it one of those people by chance?
No.
Okay.
No,
Like,
it wasn't.
I'm like, wow. Could it have been? That,
No,
maybe,
no.
okay.
Travis's wife
Just
Shannon
curious.
used to work for me, and now I forget I was listening to her speak publicly once, and she starts telling the story, and I'm sitting there listening to this story, and I'm like, now I'm really listening to the story. Now I'm going, oh crap, this is about me. Oh crap, this was me that did that. But she'd wanted to go on a trip or something with school, and it was like a huge weekend for us. It's like I've got like 6 weddings, all this stuff. It had been known for a long time you couldn't go, and she was like, well, you let Jody, her best friend, go with her now husband, but at the time boyfriend in high school, right? They were all
Who
in high
both
school.
worked for you.
They all
Yeah.
three worked for me. And,
Wow.
and she got to, and she came to me and she's like, well, she got to, and she got to, and she got to. And I'm like, you're working this weekend or you won't be working here. This is a commitment you made to me. I make a commitment to you. I write you a check and she was mad.
Oh, she
was
was.
mad at me for a while, which was fine. I'm a
years.
joker, so I just had a lot of fun with her. It was for a long time. And then
Yeah.
here I am sitting in this conference, 35 years later. She's now this very, great businesswoman who has a great business. I'm like, oh God, I hope this. She comes up afterwards. She goes, I saw you halfway through. I was like, oh my God, he's sitting there. But she talks about the lesson she learned from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because Gary is one of the first people I met when I moved here in 97.
Wow.
And Shannon was still mad about that, told that story, and
I
did
think
several
she kinda
times.
still is.
And then, well, now that she owns a business,
screwed her
She
life
gets it.
up.
she
That's
gets
what she
it.
says. Yeah.
And it's so funny because I'm sitting there
Yeah.
going, holy crap, honey, you got to let this go.
Yeah.
know?
It's like when
mean-
when I always tell my kids when they're telling me that, I don't know what I'm talking about or they're mad, I go, come back to me after you paid your 3rd electric bill and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And they did.
Exactly.
Almost to a T, they all have.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Shannon's a sweetheart.
She
Love
is,
Shannon.
and-
she just
and-
autographed a magazine for me. It's going to go on my mantle.
What's hilarious though is Shannon is the one because I'm kind of like you. I don't fire people, and when someone's getting let go, Shannon's the one that does it because most people they have that anger, frustration on a scale from 1 to 10. I have 1 or a 10, right? And so I am not a good
Yeah.
person to let
Yeah.
somebody go because my fuse
or
is
guy.
like uber short. And Shannon, I can't believe she'll let somebody go and then hug them as they're walking out the door.
And they send her chocolates the next day.
Yeah.
Thanks, you were a great boss.
People like that drive me crazy. I mean,
know. Yeah.
their talent, and like, why am I hugging you?
Right, you just
fired
canned me.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm ready to throw down. Yeah, I
God,
can't
I love
do
it.
it.
That's funny.
God bless her though. She is very talented at that, without a doubt. Well, that was our. Gosh, we have one segment left. Can you believe that? It just flies by.
Yeah,
it,
time
it
goes
just blows
quick.
me away.
It does. Yeah.
So you're listening to the 402 Business Insider, Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Todd Calfee. We're talking a little marketing, but we're talking a little bit banking as well. He's with Western National Bank now, and we're going to chat a little bit more about the bank. We got to talk about the bank.
Oh yeah.
When we come
we
back,
can talk all
so-
day about it.
I love it. All right, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Building business, one story at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And you're back for the last segment of the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Todd Calfee here from Western National Bank. And this segment is brought to us by Red Rhino Roofing. They are currently re-roofing the entire town of Panama right now.
I believe it.
So,
You guys got hit.
we got hammered.
Big city of Panama.
Yeah, buddy. And Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman's I love.
They've been around a couple years.
They've been around for a while, and we've been doing their marketing for, my goodness, going on 30 years now, 28 years, something like that. And got a real cool promotion coming up. I'm keeping tight-lipped about it, but it's going to be really cool. It's happening September, October. So wait for it.
Awesome.
It'll be good.
Awesome.
It'll be good. Big giveaway. Yeah. So want to thank them for being a sponsor. And last segment here, why, when you sold your business, I know why you sold your business, and we will have you back to talk about that
Sure.
at some point.
Sure.
But then you decided to move into banking. What was the thought behind that transition? Or were there several little...
Was there a thought? Let's start with was there a thought?
Okay, so after I sold the agency, there was a couple of things that transpired, and I ended up in Colorado for a couple of years doing some consulting with a fuel and oil company, and business went great. It was amazing and a great experience for me. And then I came back, and my wife just likes to say things like this, like, you know what, you need a job. I'm like, I don't need a job. No, you need a job. And I go, oh, okay, all right. So kind of put my name out there that I was going to do something, and still had the consulting going on the side, and still have the real estate and doing my international fishing, and fished a lot in Florida. Well, I identified a place in Florida that I wanted to purchase. So back 3 years ago, if something was listed, let's just say at 200,000, the day after it's listed, it was selling for 260,000, 280,000. So I had to buy this like overnight. So who do you call? You call your banker. So I called Dallin George, the owner of Western National Bank, and I said, hey, Dallin, I ran a quick, analysis of what this place is going to do. I really want to buy it. And he goes, and I've had a long relationship with Dallin and Brian, two just remarkable human beings, salt of the earth, unbelievable guys. Dallin says, all right, he says, come over tomorrow and sign the papers and I'll wire the money. So I bought the property in Florida. So I go over to Dallin's house the next day to sign the papers went to his house and signed the papers. So, which is funny when you think about it. You go to the president's house of the bank, you sign the papers, and Dallin handed me a sheet of paper, and it was an article that was written. He had photocopied it, and they were looking, he asked me. He says, "What do you think of this position?" So I read it, and I go, "Well, it sounds like it was written for me, other than the part that it says banking. But I mean, the responsibilities that's what I do all the time." And he goes, "Would you be interested in that?" And I kind of explained to him what my situation was in life and where I'm at, and said, Dallin, and then he explained to me also that his daughter Cecilia, who I call my work wife because I get to work with Cecilia every day. It's truly a blessing. It's a blessing from God. Because there was a lot of praying that went into this for me personally, because I had other job offers.
Sure.
They just didn't feel right. It was, so I kind of pushed those aside. And anyway, Cecilia was just finishing up her master's program at K-State, and she was in K-State athletics, and she was going to come lead the marketing department at Western National Bank. And Dallin was looking for a mentor for Cecilia. And he said, "Can you give me 15, 20 hours a week to do this?" And I go, "Absolutely. I'd be honored, thank you for this opportunity." So, he said she'll be back in like a month or something like that. Or no, she's going to be coming in, but we need her a month to get, kind of set in what she's doing and getting things set up before we bring you on. And I go, "Yeah, that's fine." Well, a month went by, and a couple months went by, and my wife's over there chapping the job, and I go, "Just chill out. Everything will be fine, Well, I went and met with then Dallin, Brian, David Lavelle, Cecilia, the whole, part of the group. And so we had it set that I was going to start in a couple weeks. Well, like the following day after that, I'm riding my motorcycle down Roca Road, 60 miles an hour, and guess what jumps out in front of me? A deer. Mm. So I hit the deer going 60, I fly 150 feet, and I land in the middle of the highway. Obviously, I'm knocked out this whole time, don't know any of it, broke some ribs, had some lung issues, TBI, the whole 9 yards. So I end up in, I think I was in intensive care for 4 days. And so Dallin heard about this, and, he's like, "Hey, don't worry about coming in." Well, 2 weeks later, I was there because this was a calling. So it's been a few years ago. That's how I got in the banking business. It'd
year was that?
It'd be 2021.
Oh,
yep.
Wow. Has it been 4 years?
Yeah.
Because I remember when you crashed your bike.
2020? 22.
Still.
Yeah, I've been there a little over 3 years. So yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So that's how I got in the banking business. Now, my relationship goes way back with Dallin and Brian. When I had Minnow Project, Marty and I, obviously there was, you finance things, right? And I always wanted to be a debt-free company. But in that arena, it's tough to become debt-free,
Sure.
right? And there was times that there was not enough work coming through those doors.
Mm-hmm.
And I would call Dallin and Brian and then say, listen, guys, similar to what you were saying, Gary, right?
Yep.
This is going to be tough for me to make this payment. So I was still paying back past owners. And Brian would come in, and I thought in my head what Brian was going to say, you need to let 4 people go, and you're going to have to take a salary reduction for yourself, which we already had. We weren't making a lot of money. Instead, Brian says, don't worry about this. You got this. And if you need more money, let us know. So that's the type of people they are at Western National Bank. They trusted in me.
You earned their trust.
I earned their trust.
Right.
I
Yeah.
did.
And that goes back to a relationship with
Yeah.
a banker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I just to have Brian tell me that gave me the motivation to keep going, keep fighting. You got this.
Yeah, and you need that at those points in time. You really need that.
Yeah. So we, a few years later, we wrote everybody back. We had no debt. We became a debt-free company.
Sweet.
Wow.
And it was just unbelievable. But I'll be honest, I couldn't have did it without Dallin George and Brian Lavelle. Couldn't have did it. I mean, I'm just saying, a big bank would have laughed and shut the doors, and you're done. You know?
Let you let
like I said
40%
earlier,
of your staff go, and your
Right.
team is not a team anymore.
Right.
And could have decimated the agency.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And like I said, I didn't have that trust with another bank who called my note due when they weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
These
Without
guys were
a
in it for
phone
the long
call,
haul.
by the
So,
way.
yeah. So this was an amazing journey, and how things, they come full circle. I'm working for those 2 individuals now, and I get to work with Cecilia every day, and Elise and David and Adam, and we have a great culture, and it's been amazing.
And Shannon, you reached out to Shannon and started having a chit chat with her and goes, hey, we just want to have a relationship with you. And we want to, see how we can help if there's ever a need. And Shannon hung up the phone. You want to talk about impact. Shannon came down. She goes, a bank wants to have a relationship with us, where in the past, you always felt like you're walking through the door, hat in hand, begging, for it. And now here's a bank that wants to have a relationship with us. Not going, hey, you need to move all your stuff over here, and you need, because we haven't yet. But it was that first phone call that said, we want to have a relationship with you. And that's the kind of bank that you guys have. And that blows me away, because I remember when we first started TM, I mean, we had nothing. Yeah. We were renting desks inside of a rented office space. That's how little we had. We had zero.
Yeah.
And we went in and we started talking to this bank. It's a local bank here in town. And they said, literally, the guy goes, where's your business again? I go, well, we're down in Panama, Nebraska. And he goes, yeah. He goes, we had a couple of houses that went into foreclosure down in Panama. I don't know how ready we are to do business with people in Panama. Literally, I swear to God that
Oh
happened.
boy, that's intelligent.
And I thought,
Yeah.
are you so now the whole town is tainted because 2 people didn't pay their bill?
And you're tainted.
That's
And-
never happened anywhere
So
else.
there.
It was insane. So website, remind me of the website. Let me see.
mywnb.com. So basically mywesternationalbank.com.
Yep. Facebook.
Facebook,
I imagine.
LinkedIn. You can find me. Just find Todd Calfee. That's TODDCALFEE. But yeah, Western National Bank got 11 locations throughout Kansas and Nebraska. Obviously, you can do everything online. You can set up an account in 5 minutes or less. So,
And the thing, see, I thought I put that on silence, and I obviously didn't. Time's up. The trap door's coming open.
so yeah, you just check us out. Again, I mean, there's no big sales pitch here. We look for building relationships with people.
Yep. And the thing I love is you can actually pick up the phone and call Dallin.
Oh, yeah.
The owner of the bank. You can actually get a hold of him.
Yeah, he'll give you a cell phone number. I mean, it's insane.
Good people. Definitely good people. Well, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Travis, Gary, thank you for
it's
having
been
me.
a joy.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you guys are amazing.
And we'll have you back really soon. I want to get Dallin in here, too.
Yeah, I know
so
he'd
be an
love to do
interesting
it.
chit-chat.
Yeah.
I know he's a
good.
busy guy.
Yeah.
Well, this was a 402 Business Insider. Thank you so much for listening. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, of course, Todd Calfee, Western National Bank, and we will see you guys next week.